And what is going on, everybody? This is another episode of the Sports Betting Edge podcast brought to you by OddsJam.com, home to the number one tools in the sports betting industry. And I am your host, Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. We can be found at all of the top social media and podcast platforms. And today, you know, it's Thursday night football, NFL Week 9, Jets, Colts, and that's the exact topic we're going to discuss today. I'm going to discuss the top plus EV bets, the top best bets for this matchup tonight. And, you know, Thursday night football has been simply outstanding all season long, and this is probably going to be one of the, letdown games on the slate. And if you don't have any action on it, whether it's sports betting or fantasy, you might not tune in. So if I were you, I'd get in on the action. This way you have something vested in this game, and you have a reason to watch, because there's always something to watch in football. There's always a storyline. There's always a bet. There's always a fantasy player, and we got a couple of good ones tonight. Let's go over this matchup. The line opened up at 10.5 and 47, and currently it's at 10.5 going to the Jets, and the total actually lowered from 47 to 45. I think I like the under in this matchup, and the reason why, we know the Colts are going to score points, right? The Jets defense is bad. The Jets defense giving up the third most points, I believe, in the league at 29.4 a game. Colts offense, really middle of the pack, 14th most at 22.9. I'm sorry, that's the Jets defense giving up 22.9. The Colts offense also 14th at 25. So I like the matchup here. The Colts are going to roll. The Colts should roll. The Jets, their offense has been terrible outside of last week when Mike White really lit a spark on this offense. And this could be like Jake Luton. Remember him last year when he had a really good game, first NFL start. Nobody knew who the hell he was for the Jaguars. And then he, came back down to earth. Maybe that happens with White. But what White can do, this Colts defense is pretty good. They defend the run pretty good. You can throw on them. You can exploit them through the air. They will stop the run a little bit better. The Colts are also extremely opportunistic. They are the number one team, I believe, in takeaways right now. Meanwhile, the Jets, a lot of giveaways. I believe they have the second most giveaways in the NFL. So a lot of aspects here are pointing towards an Indianapolis Colts blowout victory. But, they can drop a bunch of points. They can drop 28 points. And the Jets somehow score 2 touchdowns, which I think that will happen. Let's see. 28 plus 14, that's 42. The under still hits depending on where you got the number. And using the tools at OddsJam, I'm going to go to the odds screen. Right now, as you can see, I'm on the Plus EV page. I live on the Plus EV page. I refresh the Plus EV page a million times a day because it is updated just like all the odds at OddsJam. They're updated in real time. So let's go to the football page. Let's go to tonight's game. We got a couple of college things going on, but really we're here for the Jets Colts. And let's go to the total. Let's see where the best bets here for the total. And we already discussed the main line. It opened at, what did I say, 47, 46-ish. Now it's trended down. Currently, I have the main line here at 45, 45, and 46, depending on what book you're going to. And I want the highest. Like, I like the under in this game, but I still want to protect myself, right? Like, because this is still the NFL, and a ball can bounce anyway, and all of a sudden the Jets are in this game, and there's 50 points scored, even though it's the Jets and the Colts. So I want the under. I want the highest number when I'm taking the under with the best odds. So 46 looks like the play. And the OddsJam perfect line is minus 119 for the under. The best play here over at WinBet, you can get this at minus 110. I would smash that all day long. Now, if you want to protect yourself a little bit, go up a half point to 46.5. You do lose out on 11 points here, and you can go to the Sugar House, you can go to Twin Spires, you can go to Unibet and get minus 121 odds if you want to get that half a point. But really the best bet here at under 46 is at minus 110. Now, let's say you want to go to DraftKings, you want to go to BetMGM or Borgata. Under 46 is at minus 120. You can go pick up, you can go to Sugar House, get that half a point at 46.5 and only surrender 1 point over at Sugar House. So depending on what books you belong to, and this is why we emphasize here, you want to have, 5 to 10 plus sports books in your arsenal, so you can get the best odds, you can get the best number to give yourself that edge over the sports book. Let's see. If you think it's going to go under 45, right? That's a full point from 46. You do pick up some better odds, minus 103 and things like that, minus 110 still at Fox Bet. I want the 46. I want the 46.5 even at minus 121 just to be safe. Because initially I like this at under 47. So, I'm going to put my bets in at the minus 121 over at Sugar House, as long as these odds don't jump around. And I don't think they jump around that much more leading up to tonight's game. Now, let's go to this, let's go to the Plus EV betting page. As I'm having some connective issues here, but let's go to the Plus EV betting page. Let's sort the column. And let's go down to... Let's go search for this game. I'm sorry, I'm having some connectivity issues on the live feed, but they will not be there for the syndicated video on YouTube. I promise you that. But let's find this game, and this game right now, it's at the 8:21 mark. And the first Plus EV wager is the Jameson Crowder total receptions over under 5.5. The profitable play of 5.59% return is the over. That's plus 120 odds over at Borgata BetMGM. You pull up the calculator here. It tells you everything you need to know. What is your bankroll? Whatever your bankroll is, you're expected to wager 4.67% of it. It has a 48% win percentage. Now, on Jameson Crowder, well, what do we know about Jameson Crowder? Let's pull Jameson Crowder up. And a couple of key injuries, obviously, we know that Zach Wilson is not playing, and that might be a good thing for the Jets after the way White played last week. We'll see how Mike White follows it up tonight. If he has another good game, maybe there's something here. We also know Corey Davis, he's not expected to play on the short week, did not play last week against the Bengals. Jets won the game anyway. But, it's a short week, couple days rest, not going to make a difference. Corey Davis, doubtful, probably not going to play, which means expect Jameson Crowder to once again operate as a number one wide receiver. He plays in the slot. He's open for those short and intermediate routes. There's no real tight end presence, and we know that Mike White, and we'll talk about the running backs in a little bit, he likes to check it down. He likes to get rid of the football. In every game Crowder has played, remember he missed the first 3 games, came back in week 4. He's had 6+ targets with season highs in weeks 4 and last week with 9. Last week, 84 yards, 8 receptions. He's only gone over this reception total twice back in the aforementioned week 4 and then last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, game script-wise, if we believe that the Colts are going to win this game and control this game and put the Jets in a situation where they're going to be throwing a lot, then I would wager the over on the 5.5 Jameson Crowder reception totals. That's the way I'm going to lean here, and that's the bet that I would take. The OddsJam perfect line, minus 106 again, plus 120 at Borgata, BetMGM. I love Jameson Crowder to go over this total. And let's go to the next one, and that's the Ty Johnson, the Jets running back. Over under reception total of 2.5. Now, Ty Johnson is effective in this backfield. Now, Kevin Coleman, hamstring injury, is not going to play. That means it's going to be a lot of Michael Carter, who's been hot lately, and a lot of Ty Johnson, who's also been hot lately. And what did I say a few seconds ago? White loves to check the ball down to the running backs. In the past 2 games since Mike White has taken over for Zach Wilson, Ty Johnson, 7 targets and 6 targets respectively. Ty Johnson, 6 receptions and 5 receptions respectively. 65 receiving yards, 71 receiving yards respectively. I am smashing the over on this reception total of 2.5 for the aforementioned Ty Johnson. I already took this bet earlier. Didn't get Crowder yet because I am limited, extremely limited at Borgata and BetMGM. So I got to find the best line possible for me to take the over here. But as you can see with the check mark, now the Crowder one, it says I already took it, but I hit the wrong button earlier, and it's not here now because you got to be quick with these plus EV bets. But I took the over on his receiving yards total, which we will get to a little bit. What I'm going to do, they're not up now, but I'm going to review the plus EV bets that I took earlier this morning. But Ty Johnson's another one, over 2.5, minus 183 at Pinnacle, sharpest sports book in the world. But this is the OddsJam perfect line, which comes from the Pinnacle sports book, the sharpest odds in the world. Minus 145, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, Borgata. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to tell you the wagers that I have already taken earlier in the day, and I use the OddsJam bet tracker, which is absolutely, I believe, free for everybody to use. And if you're not tracking your bets, how the hell are you ever going to know if you're a profitable sports bettor? You're kidding yourself. You're tracking it in your mind, and you think you actually know if you're profitable or not. Go to oddsjam.com, sign up, use the bet tracker. I promise you, it's a wake-up call if you're not profitable, and if you are, you actually have a number you can base your profitability off of. So let's see these wagers that I have already taken. And Miles Gaskin, that's Sunday, but I took the over on his rushing yards, by the way. Minus 110, the CLV, minus 136. I love the over. I love the matchup for Miles Gaskin, Malcolm Brown on IR. This should be a game where Miami can get going on offense, and I like Miles Gaskin to get going as well. Let's find this football game. So some of these wagers that I have already taken, we don't talk about Jameson Crowder over receptions. I'm not as confident on that as I am on the receiving yards. Over under 57.5. You need 6 receptions to hit his over a 5.5. He can get to 58 receiving yards, which is what you need to hit this over on 4. In the 2 games where Crowder had more than 5.5 receptions, like I said, week 4 and week 8, he had 61 yards in week 4, 84 last week. And again, this Indy defense, you can exploit them if you're a receiver. We know, or we believe, the Colts are going to have a 2-possession lead on the Jets, which is going to force them to throw the football. What's more, the Colts are a superior run-blocking team, which means expect the Jets to throw a lot to try to get over and exploit this secondary a little bit. And Crowder's going to be a big part of it. No Corey Davis. Crowder, no presence of a tight end. Crowder, short and intermediate routes, getting those big chunks, moving the chains, picking up those first downs. I love Jameson Crowder's receiving yard total more than I love the receptions, but I will take both. Already have taken the over 57.5 receiving yards, and I took that over at the Caesars Sportsbook at plus 105 odds. We talked about Ty Johnson. another reception total for a Jets running back. And it's Michael Carter. Michael Carter has emerged from a fantasy perspective, but really in sports betting, like Michael Carter has been quietly getting the job done. Let's pull up what he's been doing. Now, you might be saying, well, if you like Ty Johnson to go over 2.5, why do you like Michael Carter to go over 4.5? Last week, they both shattered their reception totals because this quarterback, Mike White, playing with not the best receiving group in the world. Corey Davis is out, no tight end. So really these running backs are like more receivers to him, especially checking the ball down. Like Mike White, rather check it down, get the ball out of his hands quick, then take the sack, then risk a sack fumble, then throw an interception, which he will still do. Now, what's his name? Where are we? Michael Carter. He's had, now his reception total is over 4.5, right? He's had 3 targets in every game since week 2. Not good enough for 4.5, right? But in the past 2 games, right? 9 targets and 14 targets respectively, 8 and 9 receptions respectively, 67 and 95 yards respectively. These games, game script, the Jets were trailing in both of them. Obviously, they didn't catch up to the Patriots 2 weeks ago, but they caught up and eventually beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I expect a similar negative game script again, which means I love the over for Michael Carter's reception total of 4.5. Let's go. Let's see if I have taken any other ones just yet. Not yet, but I have taken already a couple of boosts. And, boosts can be deceiving because the odds look really good. Some of them are attainable. Some of them are not. One of the boosts I have taken, Johnathan Taylor to rush for 100-plus yards. You can get this right now over at DraftKings, plus 180 odds. Johnathan Taylor has rushed, I believe, for north of 100 yards in 3 out of his past 4 games. I'll double check on that. And the Jets have been getting gashed on the ground for over 100 in total rushing yards as well. So I feel pretty comfortable that Johnathan Taylor, pops this week. And Mixon didn't go over that total last week, but I do think, Johnathan Taylor's a superior running back, runs behind a superior offensive line, and the Colts are a run-centric team. So I pushed the chips in on Johnathan Taylor. Like I said, 103, 1, 2, 3. So 3 out of his past 5 games going over 100 rushing yards. Now, back in week 5 against Baltimore, he had 116 receiving yards, 53 on the ground, different game script there. He had that one big play earlier in the game, but Johnathan Taylor is the workhorse in this backfield. The Jets are the defense in which you can exploit on the ground. I have it here somewhere. I took Wentz. And for some reason, here it is, Carson Wentz, passing touchdowns. Passing touchdowns, over 1.5. You can get this at Fox Bet at minus 120 odds. I went heavy on here. I love Carson Wentz today. I love Carson Wentz to go over 1.5 touchdown passes, and I'll tell you why. And, the Jets, if you remember earlier in the year, they were a lot better defending the pass, and they just fell apart the past couple of games. They've been getting picked apart. Carson Wentz, one of the hottest quarterbacks in football right now. He has thrown for over 2 touchdown passes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and in 6 out of 8 games. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 6 out of 8 games this year. I'm pushing the chips in on that wager for Carson Wentz. Anything else from this game before we wrap up? Couple more bet boosts that I really like. Here's a long shot, plus 650 odds. It's Michael Pittman and Jameson Crowder to score a touchdown. Nice little touchdown parlay right here. Pittman operating as de facto wide receiver 1 for the Indianapolis Colts. Jameson Crowder doing the same right now for the New York Jets. You can throw on both of these secondaries. Why not throw a couple bucks plus 650 odds? I only take the boosts that I really think are attainable and can hit. That is one of them. Here's one at plus 900. I threw a couple bucks on here. JT, Pittman, and Michael Carter to all score. Really the most powerful offensive weapons across both teams. Plus 900 odds. Is it a long shot? Yes, but something like that. It's not like it's Zach Pascal and Keelan Cole and Michael Carter. Pittman, wide receiver 1. Crowder, wide receiver 1. Crowder, wide receiver 1, and Carter, running back 1. Why not throw a couple bucks there at plus 900? And here's one more. Not the best odds, but I like it. It's another touchdown parlay boost here with Carter and Johnathan Taylor to each score 1 touchdown at plus 400 odds. But that's going to do it for today, guys. I wanted to keep this one short and actionable. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck on any wagers you are placing today. I'll be back tomorrow discussing more EV bets from the NFL Week 9 slate, updating you on injuries and all that good stuff. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, make sure you subscribe to OddsJam. Make sure you hit the alert icon so you can be notified anytime we go live or drop new content. But until next time, I'm Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. We can be found at all the top social media and podcast platforms. We'll see you later.